Hello, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Unfiltered with Nikki Dawson. I am back after a couple of weeks, and despite saying that I was going to be a bit more consistent and that I was going to try and record every week, it hasn't happened. But that is okay. I'm not being too hard on myself about it. And I always said I just wanted to record this podcast sort of naturally and when I felt like talking. So today is the day. Although the other day I really did feel like talking, but I didn't have the setup and everything sorted in my office, so I didn't end up doing it. But I'm here now. I'm ready to talk. The office is clean. It's actually been very cluttered lately with a lot of stuff. So I have been doing a clear out of like my wardrobe and a few other areas of the house. So I really do need to sort through all of the stuff that I'm getting rid of. And I'm in two minds about things, because I know like a lot of the clothes that I have are like quite good. I could definitely resell them. And I used to be a bit of a reseller on Marketplace and eBay, but it is a lot of effort to take photos, do measurements, and then put things up. And then when people buy things, you have to obviously post them out as well. So it is a big job to do. And I'm kind of like, do I just take everything to the op shop? Or I was kind of also thinking just like putting up a story on my Instagram and saying, if anybody wants things from X to X size, like, let me know. And just giving it away to people. I definitely would feel better giving away my nice clothes to people that I know. And just would feel nice to see them wearing my clothes. And I'm like, oh, I honestly do become quite attached to quite a few pieces in my wardrobe, and that's probably why I have such a problem with shopping, and also keeping too much stuff. My husband is like, oh my god, like seriously, our bedroom has become a bit messy lately because I just don't have many storage options in our room, so I really need to sort that out and literally get rid of the stuff that I should be getting rid of. But anyway, I'm being good. Although I have bought a few things recently. Been obsessed with a few pieces from Velocity. So a few activewear pieces. I've bought the two-tone bras. I have them in like the blue, the glaze, and the pink one as well. So I bought a few, and also their second skin flares are just, honestly, when they do come out with lighter colours, so I've got the pink, but they currently have like the berry and a chocolate, maybe black. I can't remember if they have black or not, but I really did want some more lighter colours. So as soon as they come out with more of a lighter range, I will be purchasing more, even though I don't need to. But I love them. They're so comfy. Highly recommend. And aside from new activewear purchases, I've bought a couple of pairs of shoes and a couple of tops. I bought a really cool jacket yesterday as well. It's like a wool jacket, vintage. You guys know that I love my vintage clothes, so that was a good piece to buy. And what else? I think that's all. That's all that I want to talk about, in case my husband's listening. Nah, he does know about my purchases. And recently I've said to him, I just need to stop, because I do have a lot of good clothes and a lot of clothes that I can pair together. So I really don't need to be buying any more stuff, like any more things. But I get that instant like validation and like a little bit of a dopamine hit when I do buy things, and I'm like, wow, that was like either really cheap, I got it on sale, or I feel like it's going to pair perfectly with something else in my wardrobe, and it's just going to be like that this is going to sound so weird, but I often do think like, oh, just one more thing. It's going to like complete my wardrobe. And then there's another thing and another thing. It's never ending. I guess it's just like when you're renovating a house. It's like, yeah, you think you're going to be done once you've like finished the bathroom or whatever it is. And it literally is just never going to be done. There's always going to be another job to do. And that's how I feel about my wardrobe. There's always going to be something else that I want to add to my wardrobe. And to be fair, I definitely could spend a little bit more time and pair pieces together so that I didn't feel the need to buy new things. Another strategy that I could use would be just to not go into the shops and also unfollow all of the style pages that I follow on Instagram, because they definitely do influence me to want to purchase some new things. And if I see something that's similar to what they're wearing, or I've seen an outfit, I'm like, it has to be mine. But anyways, I have a few things that I could do. I feel like because I have a couple of days off during the week and Shane goes away, that is when I usually would pop out to the shops and do a bit of my spending. He has been home. He's working from home until next week. He was meant to leave on Wednesday morning, but he stayed home and my purchases have not been as much. I think because I'm distracted by him being home. But it's a nice distraction. It's a nice thing. But anyway, I feel like it would be a good investment for me to have a stylist and have somebody come in, do an audit of my wardrobe, pick out pieces that went well together. And if they said to me, okay, I feel like you need maybe like a white tank top or like a particular pair of shoes or whatever it was to kind of maximize my wardrobe, I would be happy with that. And then I wouldn't feel the need to constantly buy new things and want new things. Maybe I would then get a dopamine hit from creating nice outfits, but I think it would be a good investment for me to get a stylist. I'm sure that there's like online ones. There was a girl that I used to follow on Instagram. I'm going to have to look her up. She was like a friend of a friend and I loved her style. I'd often see that she would be at Karen Up and organising shopping appointments with people and taking them to the shops after doing an audit of their wardrobe. And I'm sure that she was quite expensive to work with. And then on top of that, buying additional pieces. But all in all, it would probably be very, very financially savvy to actually do that, because if you think about that initial investment, say if you pay them say $400 for the wardrobe audit and then taking you shopping for that appointment and then purchasing additional items, maybe all in all, it will cost you a couple of grand, 1,500, couple of grand. I don't know what it would be. But then across the year, how much are you spending? I don't even want to know. I actually did add up how much I spent last month and I was actually quite shocked. It gave me a bit of a reality check that I need to sort things out and I need to stop doing this. And I guess, you know, in the near future, Shane and I have some financial goals that we would like to reach. So I need to be more well-behaved. I probably, if a financial advisor is listening to this, they're probably cringing, because as a dietitian, hearing people talk about like being well behaved around food and things, that makes honestly, it's like, no, you just need to implement strategies in order to manage your finances better. And that's the same thing with food. So I do need to implement strategies. And as part of a healthy, sort of like balanced life, you do need to find that balance between, sort of like the spending for social events like dinners out, clothing, personal items, and then also budgeting for all the essentials as well. So basically, non-essentials, essentials in terms of like financial literacy. I think I'm pretty good, but I could be better. If I was on She's on the Money and they asked me what my grade would be from A to F in terms of my finances, I'd probably give myself like a C minus. But if you asked me this question 3 years ago, I would have given myself an A plus because I was a lot better with finances back then. And what was I doing back then? I was like my first year out of study, and I wasn't exactly broke, but I was saving towards buying our first home together. And yeah, I think I definitely dropped off after that, but it's never too late to get back on and be on the right track financially. And I'm not saying that we're broke, but I definitely could be better. I guess, like anything, if you don't have a goal that you're working towards, I feel like it is harder to stay on track. And that's the thing for me at the moment. There hasn't been a particular goal in place. There hasn't been a savings plan. Say, for example, we need to save 20 grand by July this year, whatever it is. Not that, yeah, whatever the target is. I haven't set that in place. Maybe if I did, I would be more driven to get there. And once I have something in my mind, I definitely will do everything in my power to get there. But it's just something I probably need to sit down and reassess and put some goals in place for. Well, Shane and I, because for the most part, we do share our finances. So yeah, that is something that is on the books. Soon I need to sort that out. But you need to let me know what your thoughts are. Should I get a stylist? Should I... people really are liking my style content lately, and I think that is somewhat of a good thing, somewhat of a negative thing, because it makes me want to, put out more content like that. And to be able to do that, you obviously have to have nice things. So yeah, maybe it's not such a good thing to put my style content out there because it drives me to purchase more. But I do love it. I need that balance. I really, really do. But anyways, otherwise, the rest of my week has just been work, spending a lot more time with Shane. I haven't had as many like friend catch-ups recently. I don't know why that is. I think I had a lot of friend catch-ups like maybe a few weeks ago where I was like really, really busy. But I guess I was sick as well. I did miss out on a couple of things too. So when I was sick the other weekend with my virus, I actually did have one work event on the Friday night. It was a dinner with the dietitians from the hospital. And then on the Saturday, I did have a event for my private practice work. But because I was so stuffy and my throat was so sore, I ended up not going because I can't be standing cooking, listening to like the cooking demonstrations and everything for like a few hours and be able to enjoy it. So unfortunately, I had to say that I couldn't go to that. I also did have a friend's like baby shower type lunch. It was like a bit of a low key thing, but I didn't go to that either. Didn't want to see my friend that was pregnant and potentially make her sick as well. So that was kind of sad. I did miss out on a lot of things that weekend, but what can you do? I think potentially I may have become sick because I was feeling particularly stressed a couple of weeks ago, but I'm feeling a lot better now. My back/hip injury has been relatively well behaved, although I did go for a run the other day and my back has been a tiny little bit sore. But something that has been really helping a lot is rolling out my glutes and my back on, the little prickly balls. I've been rolling out, on those. It's very, very firm, so it really does what it needs to do, and I feel a lot better after that. So that's, I think, what is keeping things sort of at bay is just making sure that my muscles aren't super, super tight. But otherwise, I've been enjoying the swimming and running. It's been really good for me. It's been really good for my mental health as well. When I'm in the pool for an hour, I literally do not think about anything. I'm just like, I don't know. People probably think it's weird. I don't have headphones when I'm in the pool, so I'm just with myself and my thoughts, but I'm not even thinking. I'm literally just doing the strokes, and it is honestly the only moment that I have in a day that I don't think, which is very, very nice. So I'm going to continue doing that. I have also recently discovered making Instagram posts on Canva, which is honestly life-changing. I am obsessed with it. I've made quite a few posts recently with it, and I just honestly, I don't know how I didn't do it before. So I signed up to Canva. I'm paying the subscription to be able to use it sort of effectively. It needs to be the paid subscription. So I'm really liking using it. There's so many templates. They make it just so easy for you. Things are so efficient. So yeah, I've been playing around there. And what else? What did I want to talk about today? Oh, something so random. I have been having like conversations with a couple of people recently, and something sort of prompted it the other day because I saw somebody on Instagram post about kind of validating the type of person that they were. And this person had described their appearance and what they thought of themselves, and also some of the characteristics of their personality that they thought were sort of like a positive about them. And I looked at this post and I showed my husband and I was like, this is so interesting, somebody posting this. People putting out these posts, is that them seeking validation from other people, or is it them feeling so sure of themselves that they want to tell it to the whole world? And either way, that is absolutely okay. People often think that the content that I'm putting out on social media is like, I'm seeking validation from other people. I want people to comment and say things like, maybe comment on my appearance or whatever it might be. And I don't really like compliments unless it is from a friend or a female. It's not really something that I seek out. I don't really love that. When you do look at people on social media, it might appear that way, that they are seeking validation. But for me, it's just sharing my life. And also, I'm a dietitian. This is my line of work as well. And I am establishing my business online. So that is why I do put myself out there. I never expect people to comment, and I never expect anything from anyone. And I think, so I was saying to my husband, I'm so sure of myself and the person that I am now. And I'm 35 years old. Well, I'm going to be 35 later on this year. Through a lot of my life experiences, I think I know who Nikki is. I know who I am. I don't need people to tell me anything further. I know what I look like. I know what kind of person I am. I like the kind of person that I am. And if people don't, they don't need to be here. They really, really don't. I guess in terms of this person that had posted this story talking about their appearance and also their characteristics, I think potentially people would respond to that story and say, yeah, you're XYZ, and kind of give them validation, the validation that they are most likely looking for. It's not something that I would ever put out there, but you know, everybody is different, and this person was quite a bit younger, and maybe, you know, they've had different life experiences. Maybe they don't feel the support from their friends and their family, and they may be a little bit insecure. Maybe they feel like they need that. But for me, and it's not in an like I'm up myself sort of way, I think this also definitely comes from the kind of relationship that my husband and I have formed over the years. So I guess earlier on in the relationship with my husband, I did like feeling validated. You know, he would often compliment me, tell me how beautiful I was, all of this. That is very, very nice to hear from somebody that is an intimate partner, but it is uncomfortable from other males. It doesn't make me feel good about myself. But I guess over time, you know, we've been together for 7.5 years now, and he will still tell me that I look beautiful and that he loves my outfits and everything, which I need that validation for the outfits, for the fit. Sometimes he doesn't always like what I wear, but anyways, the boy doesn't have style when he's negatively commenting on my outfits. But anyway, and I guess because I am a very independent person, he works FIFO. He is only home for 50% of the time. So I am a very independent person. I do a lot of things on my own. I don't really need him now to validate me because I feel secure in myself. Maybe back 7 years ago, you know, when we weren't married and we weren't sort of like financially tied together, maybe I did need a little bit more reassurance. But like I said, over time, now being 35 years old, you know, lived experiences, feeling a lot more secure in myself, maybe being a wifey, maybe that's helped. I don't need that validation, external validation. I did also ask my husband about this as well. I often thought that he was somebody that needed external validation from his parents when he was growing up. But when we talked a little bit more about it the other day, he thinks that that's not something that's ever come to mind for him, and it hasn't really sort of influenced any of his actions or the way that he's felt about himself. But I would love to delve a little bit deeper into that, because I think to some certain extent there is some, some need for validation there, but I'm going to leave that up to him to do. That is not my place. But I guess the reason that I think that is because when I was younger, I definitely sought out validation from my parents, and they had very high expectations of me growing up, and that I would do well at school, that my plan after high school was to go to uni, have a good job, etc. I didn't do that. I mean, I had good grades when I was in high school, but following on from that, I didn't go on to uni until much later, when I was 25. So I was considered mature age when I went to uni. But otherwise, I did definitely seek validation, and my parents can be very harsh. So lots of comments about my appearance, what I'm wearing, what I'm doing in life, what's going on with work. Obviously, things have changed because my parents are a lot older, and, mum with her memory issues as well. She doesn't recall much. And I think that's why that's sort of dropped off. I guess I have been living my own life since the age of 17. That's when I moved out of home, and I was making decisions for myself. I was fiercely independent at that point. I just wanted to live my life. But yeah, up until then, I was still seeking validation from my parents. And that's why I kind of think, like, with Shane, like, I was surprised when he said that he didn't ever feel the need to be validated by his parents, because, like, coming from an Asian household, they are quite strict, and especially on things like education and finances as well. So anyways, he's very sure of himself too, and I love that he's like that. He is very confident in his work, in his career, what he's doing, the path that he's taking in life. So, and of course, because he has a wifey like me, no, we're both very lucky, very, very lucky to be with each other. So yeah, but I have a doctor's appointment very soon that I need to get going to. So yeah, I'm going to wrap up this episode. I have no idea how long it is because I'm trying to look at the screen and I cannot see from here. But until next time, bye guys.